Ms. Blackburn left off, and appreciate her questions. You know, the administration, when dealing with criticisms about the implementation of the website, likes to come back and say, well, it's better now. And in October, they did not have a fully operational back-end eligibility system. And yes or no? Based on your testimony here today, it sounds like to me they do not currently have a fully operational back-end eligibility system. Isn't that correct? Yes or no?
Well, it depends on the time. The time frame that we looked at covered the period through December of 2013. So that's what we focused on.
Okay. But you indicated that some were working and some weren't, but right now, it's not working right now completely. Isn't that correct?
I can't speak to what's working right now, sir. I'm sorry.
All right. But if they did have a system, you wouldn't have expected the document from CMS to have been released last month indicating the number of individuals enrolled in the exchange plan. And when the committee received that document, if you could read the part, I believe it's been given to you or Ms. Greenleaf on page 3 of that document provided by CMS to the committee. And that last statement says, if you would read that for us, please.
Yes, sir. I did receive that document, and just wanted to acknowledge that I've not had a chance to analyze this, and these aren't the IG's data by any means, but I'd be glad to read it for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Current data indicates that 2.1 million people who are enrolled in a qualified health plan, or QHP as it states on the document, are affected by one or more inconsistency.
All right. Now, if there was, in fact, a fully operational back-end eligibility system on January 1, we should not have this problem. Isn't that correct? Yes or no?
Fully out, yeah.
On January 1.
I would say that that would be a fair statement, that we would have, you know, a fully operational system on January 1, and our work showed that that was not in place.
That was not in place. And so then when Secretary Sebelius certified to Congress that system did in fact work, she would have been mistaken. Isn't that correct?
I really can't respond to that.
Okay. I'm not asking you whether she was doing anything intentional or whether she was given bad information. I'm just saying she said it worked. It didn't work. You know it doesn't work. Therefore, she had to be mistaken. Isn't that correct?
Well, I think the issue is that
It's yes or no. Either she was mistaken or she was correct. If she was correct, it worked fine. You've already told us it didn't work fine, so the answer should be yes, shouldn't it?
Well, I think
I know you don't want to say she's mistaken, but wasn't she mistaken?
Well, I have to read very carefully how that certification was worded, and quite frankly, I have not done so.
All right. That being said, let me take a minute, Mr. Chairman, if I might, to respond to some of the things that were said earlier about the Obamacare not being a disaster. My constituents feel it is a disaster. Let me go through a few of the things that were raised in the point by the gentlelady previously. Talking about the suit for the president, she indicated that we were suing the president for not going forward with Obamacare in parts that we didn't care for. While that's true, the real reason for the suit is that the president is not faithfully executing the laws passed by Congress. Whether I like the law or not, the president ought to execute the laws passed by Congress and not suspend the law and then reinsert his own legislation into that. Further, I would say, Mr. Chairman, she said that, you know, we could fix it. I would submit that Dr. Frankenstein couldn't fix his monster. We're not capable of fixing Obamacare. For people who, she said that premiums are not skyrocketing. I don't know about her district, but in my district, people are finding that their premiums are going up at a substantial rate. They would tell me, and they do on a regular basis, that it is in fact skyrocketing. And then, you know, she said that it was working. Look, for my folks, and I represent what I call the cornucopia of Virginia, that part that comes out of the deep Southwest and spills out into the rest of the state. We border the states of North Carolina, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Kentucky. We have split cities in two: Bluefield, Virginia, West Virginia, Bristol, Virginia, Tennessee, where the main commerce street is State Street, and the line is right down the middle of the main street of commerce. But you can't go to a hospital if you live on one side of State Street that's more than one county out if you're in the Obamacare plan. You can't go to a hospital in West Virginia. You can't go if you live in Martinsville or in Galax, Virginia. You can't go to Bowman Gray in North Carolina or Duke any longer. You want to say a system is working when people have been able to go to teaching hospitals in the past, and now they have to drive a lot further to get to one because of Obamacare. It's not working. I submit that the gentlelady in that case was wrong as well, and I yield back.
Chair thanks gentlemen, and now recognizes gentlelady from Washington, Kathy McMorris Rogers, for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate you both being here today. I want to just